Hi, Opa. You know, I love Puzzle Bobble, but are the games actually good? Or is it just my nostalgia-filled imagination? Let's find out. We're only going to be talking about the arcade and SNES version, so no 3DO version and no PC version. bobble.By is an arcade game created by Fukio Mitsuji in 1986, who aimed the game at dating couples, hence the cute characters, starring Bob and Bob, who have been turned into bobble dragons by the evil Drunk. No, seriously, that's his actual name, look it up. And so it's up to the dragons to save their girlfriends and become human again. The game was very popular, spawning sequels, merchandise, and what we're going to be talking about, puzzle spin-off. For some reason in Puzzle Bobble, the humans are guns and they pretend that the dragons have always been dragons. Weird. So in this first installment, the objective is to clear out the bubbles before you shoot too many, or if you take too long, the screen will push the bubbles down after each shot until the bubbles cross the line. You have 3 lives, you lose all of them and it's game over. There's also this drop mechanic where if you make the bubbles above disappear while there was a few below, it drops. It's required to use as they can do chain reactions and are very helpful. The graphics look even better than bobble. It actually looks like an arcade game instead of a NES one. With that said, is there anything encouraging you to play the game other than addicting gameplay? It doesn't have a story for one, which is strange considering Bubble had one. For two, unlike its arcade sequels, this one is the slower out of the 4. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, like Dr. Mario. It's a slow puzzle game, but it's still enjoyable. However, with this game, the difficulty gets more and more unfair as the game goes on. And wanna know how long the game is? It has 32 levels. 32 levels? That's too much levels! But the music is catchy. Too bad it only has like 2 music in game. The ending of the game is so disappointing that I'm just gonna show you. Wow, that was great and definitely worth it. The only other mode we have is versus mode. And it's so much fun. Using the drop mechanic to screw up each other, seeing your friends rage, and then say it doesn't make any sense. Wait, that part might just be me. More fun and chaos here than in the frustrating single player mode. If you're not playing this for the multiplayer, don't play this game. It's not even the greatest game to start with as a beginner slash newcomer. But what about the SNES version? There are more game modes here than the arcade version. There's single player, which is basically just the arcade game, but with different themes and 100 levels! So I played all of them. And it's as good as the arcade game. There's the versus mode, allowing either 1P versus 2P or 1P versus computer. I've already talked about the two-player mode, and it's the same here. However, we have 1P versus computer from the later arcade sequels. In 1P versus computer, you go against varied enemies. It's like the one-player versus two-player, but with computers. They can be surprisingly tough and are actually fun to play against. One thing that is obvious is the worst graphics. I still find charm in these graphics, and like the arcade version, there's only a few music in game, but unlike the arcade version, there's only one per game mode, which is baffling. I mean, sure, you could argue that the arcade two-player had only one song, but to that I say, it also played in the single-player mode. Next and last game mode is Challenge Record. It's basically just endless mode. So in conclusion, do I think this version is better? No, not really. They have the same positives and negatives, but the SNES does have more, so the choice is yours. So join me next time as we take a closer look at its sequel.